I want to talk about 5 things, 5 red flags, 5 gut punch betrayals that tell you without a shadow of a doubt that giving another chance isn't an act of love. It's an act of self-abandonment. Trust is often misunderstood. People think it's built in big cinematic moments, the grand apologies, the sweeping declarations, the heroic gestures of love. We see it in movies all the time. The last-minute airport chases, the handwritten love letters delivered just in time, the vows shouted in the pouring rain. And while those moments might make for great storytelling, they don't reflect how trust actually works in real life. Trust isn't built in a single extraordinary moment. It's built in the small, ordinary ones. It's built in the way someone shows up when they say they will, in the way they listen, not just with their ears, but with their heart, in the way they remember the little things, how you take your coffee, the story you told about your childhood, the way you get quiet when something is wrong. It's built in consistency, reliability, and truthfulness, even when honesty is uncomfortable. But here's what we don't talk about enough. Trust isn't just built in small moments, it's also lost in them. And it's not always the obvious betrayals that break it. Yes, affairs shatter trust. Yes, big lies can destroy a foundation. But more often than not, it's the quiet, repeated betrayals that erode it over time. It's the eye roll when you express your feelings, the dismissive, you're overreacting when you bring up something that hurt you, the promise they made and forgot, not once, but over and over. It's the times they chose to prioritize their convenience over your needs, the way they stopped noticing when you were struggling, the way they spoke about you when they thought you weren't listening. Trust is fragile, not because it can't withstand hardship, but because it can't survive neglect. You don't wake up one day and suddenly stop trusting someone. It happens gradually, like a slow leak in a tire. At first, it's just a little deflation, something you barely notice. But over time, as the little betrayals keep adding up, you find yourself stranded, wondering how you ever ended up so far from safety. And the hardest part, the person breaking your trust often doesn't even see it happening because they still believe they love you. They still believe they're not that bad. They still think that as long as they haven't done something catastrophic, everything is fine. But trust isn't about the absence of disaster. It's about the presence of care. It's about the understanding that the smallest choices matter, that a person's integrity is reflected not just in how they act when the spotlight is on them, but in how they treat you when no one is watching. So if someone tells you they love you but makes you feel unheard, unseen, or uncertain, pay attention. If they only show up when they need something but disappear when you do, pay attention. If you feel like you have to keep explaining why their small actions hurt and they keep dismissing you, pay attention. Because trust isn't just about believing someone's words. It's about feeling safe in their presence. And once that safety is gone, no grand gesture in the world can bring it back. We've all heard apologies that don't sit right. They sound like apologies. They have the right words, but they don't feel like apologies. That's because a real apology isn't just about saying sorry. It's about taking responsibility, making amends, and proving through action that the same mistake won't happen again. Apologies without accountability are empty performances, rehearsed for damage control rather than genuine remorse. They're not about repairing trust. They're about silencing discomfort. And you can usually tell when someone is more focused on ending the conversation than on actually making things right. Think about it. How many times have you heard, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which isn't an apology at all, just a passive way of dodging responsibility. "I didn't mean it like that," as if intent erases impact. "I said I was sorry. What more do you want?" As if the apology itself should be enough with no need for change. These aren't apologies. These are performances. And here's how you know. 1A, real apology acknowledges harm. A person who is truly sorry doesn't just say, I'm sorry. They name what they did. They say, I hurt you by doing this specific thing, and I see how that affected you. They don't downplay it, they don't deflect, and they don't twist the situation to make themselves the victim. When someone apologizes without actually acknowledging what they did, they're trying to escape accountability. They want to move past it as quickly as possible without sitting in the discomfort of their own actions. But true growth comes from sitting in that discomfort, owning the harm, not running from it. 2, a real apology doesn't make excuses. Have you ever heard someone apologize and then immediately follow it with, but? I'm sorry, but you were being really sensitive. I'm sorry, but I was stressed. I'm sorry, but I didn't think it was a big deal. Everything before the but is meaningless because the moment they justify or explain away their behavior, they're not actually taking responsibility. They're trying to make you feel like you're overreacting. Here's the truth. Stress doesn't justify cruelty. Frustration doesn't justify disrespect. And love doesn't excuse harm. A real apology stands on its own. It doesn't come with disclaimers. 3, a real apology is followed by changed behavior. Words mean nothing if the actions don't back them up. Someone who is truly sorry doesn't just say they'll change. They actually do the work. They reflect. They take steps to ensure they don't repeat the harm. They don't just want to be forgiven. They want to be better. If someone apologizes but keeps making the same choices that hurt you, they're not actually sorry. They just want you to stop being upset. They're more interested in keeping the peace than in making things right. 4, a real apology doesn't demand immediate forgiveness. People who offer performative apologies often expect immediate absolution. The moment they say sorry, they expect you to move on. And if you don't, suddenly you're the problem. I already apologized. What more do you want? Why are you still bringing this up? I guess nothing I do will ever be good enough for you. Real accountability understands that trust takes time to rebuild. That just because someone apologized doesn't mean the pain disappears instantly. That healing isn't on a schedule. 5, a real apology isn't about the person giving it. It's about the person receiving it. Some people apologize to ease their own guilt, not because they truly understand the harm they caused. The apology is self-serving. It's more about making them feel better than about repairing the relationship. But a true apology isn't about the person apologizing. It's about the person who was hurt. It's about making space for their feelings, understanding their pain, and doing the work to rebuild trust, even if that process is uncomfortable. The bottom line, an apology without accountability isn't an apology. It's damage control. It's a way to check a box and move on without doing the hard work of self-reflection and change. So when someone apologizes, pay attention. Do they take full responsibility? Do they acknowledge the harm they caused? Do their actions change? If not, they're not apologizing. They're performing. Love is one of the most overused and misunderstood words in the world. People say it all the time. I love you. I did this because I love you. You know I love you, right? But here's the truth. Love without respect isn't love at all. It's control, it's possession, it's a hollow version of something that should be whole. Real love honors, it cherishes, it sees you not as something to own, but as someone to value. When love lacks respect, it stops being about connection and starts being about control. And that's not love. That's an unhealthy attachment, a power struggle disguised as devotion. So let's talk about what love without respect actually looks like. Because it's sneaky, it doesn't always show up in obvious ways. Sometimes it whispers instead of shouts. Sometimes it wears the mask of care while slowly suffocating the very person it claims to cherish. Love without respect dismisses your voice. Respect means your voice matters. It means your opinions, feelings, and boundaries are taken seriously. But when someone loves you without respecting you, they dismiss what you say. They interrupt you. They roll their eyes when you share your thoughts. They make decisions that affect you without considering you. They tell you your feelings are dramatic or too much. And slowly over time, you stop speaking up as much, not because you have nothing to say, but because you've learned that they won't really listen. That's not love, that's silencing. To love without respect controls, not supports. There's a difference between caring for someone and controlling them. Love says, I want you to be happy. Control says, I want you to be happy, but only in the ways I approve of. Love respects your freedom, your right to make choices, have friendships, and pursue dreams outside of the relationship. But when there's no respect, love becomes something else. They get jealous of your success instead of celebrating it. They guilt trip you for spending time with friends or family. They want to know where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, not out of care, but out of control. This isn't love. This is possession. 3, love without respect makes you feel small. Respect lifts you up. It doesn't shrink you down. If someone truly loves you, they will encourage your growth, not make you feel like you're too much or not enough. But when love lacks respect, it becomes a tool for diminishing you. It shows up in sarcastic comments at your expense, subtle jabs that make you second guess yourself, criticism disguised as just joking, the feeling that you have to walk on eggshells to avoid conflict. Real love doesn't require you to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. If they truly loved you, they wouldn't be afraid of your light. They would want you to shine. 4. Love without respect uses love as an excuse for harm. One of the most dangerous things about love without respect is that it often justifies harmful behavior. I only get jealous because I love you so much. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just love you so much that I can't control myself. You know I love you. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Love should never be used as an excuse to disrespect, hurt, or manipulate. If someone claims to love you but consistently disrespects your boundaries, disregards your feelings, or makes you feel unsafe, what they feel isn't love. It's possession wrapped in the language of affection. 5, love without respect doesn't apologize. It justifies. Respect means accountability. It means being able to say, I hurt you and I take responsibility for that. But when love lacks respect, apologies become something else. I'm sorry, but if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted that way. I said I was sorry. Why are you still upset? You're being dramatic. I didn't mean it like that. A lack of respect means a lack of accountability, and love without accountability is dangerous. Because without accountability, nothing ever changes. The cycle just continues. What love with respect looks like. So what does love with respect actually look like? It listens, really listens when you speak. It values your opinions, your choices, your individuality. It supports your growth instead of feeling threatened by it. It apologizes sincerely and takes action to do better. It honors your boundaries instead of trying to push past them. It feels safe, not just physically, but emotionally. Because real love isn't about power. It's not about control. It's about choosing every single day to honor, respect, and uplift the person you love. So if someone claims to love you but disrespects you, if they love you but make you feel small, unheard, controlled, or unsafe, then what they feel isn't love, it's something else. And you deserve so much more. Love is supposed to make you feel safe. It's supposed to be the place where you can rest, where you don't have to prove your worth because the right person sees it without question. Love should remind you of your value, not make you forget it. But sometimes love is used as a weapon instead of a refuge. And when someone makes you question your own worth, it's not love at all. It's manipulation. It's control. It's a slow, calculated erosion of the belief that you are enough just as you are. And here's the thing about this kind of manipulation. It doesn't always come in obvious, explosive moments. It doesn't always show up as insults or outright cruelty. More often, it's subtle. It happens in quiet, everyday moments so slowly that you don't even realize it's happening until one day you're standing in front of the mirror, wondering when you stopped recognizing yourself. One dot manipulation starts with subtle undermining. They don't insult you outright. Not at first. Instead, they plant tiny seeds of doubt in your mind. Are you sure that's what you want to wear? You're not as funny as you think you are. I don't know why you get so emotional about little things. I mean, you're smart, but not in a way that people really notice. It's not a direct attack. It's a slow dismantling of your confidence. And at first you brush it off. You tell yourself they don't really mean it. But over time, you start to internalize it. You hesitate before speaking, second guess your choices, and shrink yourself just a little to avoid criticism. And that's exactly what they want, because when you doubt yourself, you become easier to control. 2, they use comparison to make you feel less than. Manipulators know that insecurity is a powerful tool, so they use comparison to make you feel like you're never quite enough. They talk about how attractive, successful, or interesting other people are, just enough to make you feel like you have to compete. They subtly point out your flaws while praising someone else's strengths. They make you feel like you should be grateful just to have them because they could easily find someone else. This isn't love. Love doesn't make you feel like you have to fight for your place in someone's life. Love doesn't make you feel replaceable. Real love makes you feel chosen, not just once, but every single day. 3, they make you believe you're the problem. A classic manipulation tactic is to make you believe that the real issue isn't them, it's you. You bring up something that hurt you, you're too sensitive. You express frustration, you're overreacting. You ask for more effort, you're too needy. Slowly, they make you believe that your emotions are the enemy, that the real problem isn't their behavior, it's your reaction to it. And over time, you stop bringing things up. You stop advocating for yourself. You start believing that if you just tried harder, if you were better, then maybe they would treat you differently. But no matter how much you shrink yourself, how much you adjust, how much you try, it's never enough. Because the goal was never to fix the relationship. The goal was to keep you questioning your worth so you wouldn't have the confidence to leave. 4, they withdraw love as punishment. Healthy love doesn't feel like a guessing game. It's steady, it's secure. But manipulation is conditional. Love is given when you're good and taken away when you step out of line. They go silent when they don't get their way. They withhold affection, kindness, or attention until you fix whatever they think you did wrong. They make you feel like you have to earn their love, like you have to walk on eggshells to keep them happy. That's not love. That's control. And the most dangerous part, you start to believe that if you just behave better, if you just keep them happy, then they'll go back to the person they were in the beginning, the one who made you feel special, the one who made you feel safe. But that version of them was never real. That was just the bait to get you hooked. 5, they make you feel like you'd be nothing without them. Perhaps the biggest red flag of all is when they make you believe that you're not good enough on your own. No one else would put up with you the way I do. You'll never find someone who loves you as much as I do. You'd be lost without me. This isn't love. This is emotional captivity. This is them breaking down your self-esteem so that you never even think about leaving. Because the truth is, they know you're capable. They know you are worthy. That's why they work so hard to convince you otherwise. Because if you saw yourself clearly, you wouldn't stay. The truth about love and worth, real love, doesn't make you question your worth. It reminds you of it. Love encourages your confidence instead of breaking it down. Love makes you feel secure, not like you have to fight for a place in someone's heart. Love listens when you're hurt instead of making you feel crazy for feeling things. Love never requires you to lose yourself in order to keep it. So if someone is making you doubt yourself, if they're making you feel small, insecure, or unworthy, it's not love, it's manipulation. And the moment you realize that, that's the moment you take your power back. That's the moment you remember who you are. Forgiveness and reconciliation are often lumped together as if they're the same thing. They're not. Forgiveness is personal. It's something you do for yourself to free your heart from the weight of resentment, anger, and pain. Reconciliation, on the other hand, is not something you owe anyone. It's a privilege, not a right. And the person who hurt you has to earn it through consistent effort, accountability, and real change. But here's where people get it wrong. They think that if you forgive someone, it means you have to let them back into your life, that you have to trust them again, be close to them again, love them again in the same way. You don't. Forgiveness is about your peace, not their comfort. And just because you release the anger doesn't mean you have to rebuild the relationship, because forgiveness can exist without reconciliation, but reconciliation cannot exist without trust. 1, forgiveness is for you, not them. Forgiveness doesn't mean saying it's okay. It doesn't mean excusing what happened. It doesn't mean pretending you weren't hurt. It simply means deciding that you will no longer carry the burden of resentment, because holding on to anger might feel like power, but over time it becomes a prison. It keeps you tied to the person who hurt you, keeps you reliving the pain, keeps you stuck in a place where they still have control over your emotions, and they don't deserve that power over you. When you forgive, you're not letting them off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. You're choosing peace over bitterness. You're choosing to move forward rather than stay stuck in the past. But moving forward doesn't mean moving back into the arms of someone who broke you. 2, reconciliation requires more than just an apology. People love to say, I apologize. What more do you want? As if words alone should be enough. They're not, because an apology without change is just manipulation. If someone truly wants reconciliation, they need to do more than just say sorry. They need to take full accountability, not just for what they did, but for how it affected you. Show consistent change, not just in words, but in actions over time. Respect your boundaries without complaining, guilt tripping, or pushing back. Be patient, because trust isn't rebuilt overnight, and they don't get to decide when you're ready. If they're not willing to do these things, then they don't want reconciliation. They just want access to you without doing the work to deserve it. 3, you can love someone and still walk away. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning that love alone is not enough. You can love someone and still choose to leave. You can forgive someone and still choose to protect yourself from them. You can care about someone and still decide that their presence in your life costs too much, because love without respect, trust, or accountability is not healthy love. It's attachment. An attachment to someone who continuously hurts you is not a sign of loyalty. It's a sign that you need to heal. Love should never require you to abandon yourself. 4, boundaries are an act of self-respect. Sometimes people will try to make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. They'll say, if you really forgave me, we'd be okay again. But that's not how forgiveness works. Forgiveness is letting go of the pain. Reconciliation is allowing them back into your space. And those two things are not the same. Setting boundaries after forgiveness is not about punishing the other person. It's about honoring yourself. It's about saying, I have the right to decide who has access to me. It's about refusing to be hurt the same way twice. And the people who genuinely care about you will respect those boundaries, not resent them. 5, reconciliation isn't always the right choice. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is forgive someone and still walk away. If they keep hurting you in the same way, despite apologizing, walk away. If they expect forgiveness without showing change, walk away. If they guilt trip you for not moving on fast enough, walk away. If they disrespect your healing process, walk away. Because the truth is, some people don't want to change. They just want back in. They want comfort without accountability, access without effort, forgiveness without growth. But you don't have to give them that. The bottom line, forgiveness is something you do for yourself to set yourself free. But reconciliation, that's something they have to earn. And if they're not willing to do the work, you have every right to protect yourself. You can forgive them. You can even wish them well. But that doesn't mean they get to walk back into your life like nothing ever happened. We are taught from an early age that staying is strength and that leaving is giving up. That if you just try harder, love more, forgive again, things will eventually get better. We are told that endurance is noble, that love conquers all, that real commitment means never walking away. But here's the truth. Leaving isn't failure. It's choosing yourself. It's choosing your peace, your happiness, your dignity. It's realizing that staying in a situation that is breaking you is not a sign of strength, but of self-abandonment. Walking away from something that no longer serves you, whether it's a toxic relationship, a draining friendship, an unhealthy workplace, or a life path that no longer aligns with who you are, is not giving up. It's stepping into your power. 1. Staying at the cost of yourself isn't loyalty. It's self-betrayal. Loyalty is a beautiful thing when it's mutual, when both people are showing up, giving, loving, and growing together. But loyalty that only flows one way, that's not devotion, that's self-sacrifice. Staying in a relationship where your needs are ignored, where you feel unseen, unheard, or unappreciated, doesn't make you strong. It doesn't prove how much you love someone. It only proves how much you're willing to lose yourself to keep them. And the question is, how much more of yourself are you willing to give away before you realize you deserve better? Choosing to leave a situation where you are not valued is not a weakness. It's a declaration. I matter too.